Welcome back, everyone. Last session was very informative, which was on career in design, taken by Mr. Vaibhav Sharma. Sir very well cleared that designing is just not about designing the clothes, but it is part of each and every sector nowadays. It is one of the blooming career options for all the students. Now let's begin with our next session on mathematics-based careers, which will be taken by Mr. Kapil Naudiyal. We welcome you, sir. Over to you, Mayank and Parth.
Let's begin with our second event, that is mathematics-based career with Mr. Kapil Naudiyal sir, who's an absolute tech guy with an amazing personality.
Mr. Naudiyal has an experience of over 20 years. He brings us a domain of knowledge right from a programmer to a chief architect.
He has been a part of leading tech companies like Dell, TCS, and whatnot.
So, in this session, Mr. Kapil sir will tell us about the various exciting careers that are possible in the career of mathematics, beside of those conventionals like engineer or CA.
Not only about career fields, but also about their growth and earning potentials in upcoming times. And guys, Ms. Kirti ma'am will join us for the short review of the session. She will forward the questions from the chat box to the sir. So students and parents are requested to forward the question to the Kirti ma'am through the chat box. Now, let's welcome Mr. Kapil Naudiyal sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm Kapil Naudiyal, and as I was introduced, I'm from IT background. I have more than 20 years of experience, mostly technical. I was here in the last session, the engineering background, the computer science, aspects which are being discussed. Very interesting. Now, what I will be covering today would be, you know, uh, uh, converging mathematics with some of the engineering topics and subjects, some of the traditional courses which students can pursue from the mathematical knowledge perspective, from the mathematical aptitude perspective, and I will try to converge it with some of the careers which you guys can pursue down the line. So, so during the course of the presentation, I will be taking you through various kind of streams which are there, various kind of mathematical topics and subjects which you guys need to actually get interested in and get hooked up to, and then what are the options available both in the education system as well as in the professional systems which you can pursue as a career. Right, so I'll start. So pure mathematics is in its way the poetry of logical ideas. So what Albert Einstein is saying is that if you develop your logic through some of the principles which are taught in mathematics.
Kapil sir, I'm sorry, I'm coming in. If you can start the screen share again.
Okay, you are not able to view?
No. Thank you.
Yes. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Perfect.
Is it visible? Good. So yeah, means to start with, to quote Albert Einstein, mathematics is the poetry of logical ideas. You, from one principles to other, you establish your basic concepts, and then you try to establish a relationship between those principles when you are actually looking at the theoretical aspect of mathematics. And when you are actually looking at the applied aspects of mathematics, you actually start applying these principles and this knowledge to solve certain business problems. Right. So some background of mathematics is the oldest and the most foundational science. It solves problems in every business area, whether it is economic, scientific, engineering, business. And when you look at the scientific side of the story, not only maths, mathematics actually play a large part in the biology side of the story, the physics side of the story, and the chemistry side of the story. You guys who are already in 11th or 12th, you must be undergoing various subjects, various lessons where you have to actually do a lot of maths, solve a lot of numericals, right? And when you look at engineering, the foundation of engineering is established on maths, right? I will be covering it in my slides later, where you would see that whatever you study in 10th, 11th, 12th, all that knowledge is extrapolated in the initial years of the first few semesters of your engineering courses, where your traditional maths or basics maths knowledge is converted into the applied maths knowledge. Right, and the business side, the business, whether you look at it from the commerce side of the story, whether you look at it on the economy side of the story, so business is all about number crunching, right? Apart from whatever goes on in the manufacturing side of the story, when we look at the business, mostly most of the activity is where a business tries to be competitive with their peers. It is all about number crunching, and how you evaluate whether business is doing good or bad. It is all through numbers, right? And there is a altogether different stream which actually addresses that part of the story. I will be covering that as we go forward. Coming down to the mathematical background, this is something which you'll have to keep in the back of your mind, is that there are two kinds of maths which are pursued when you are in school and when you are actually focusing more on the academic side of the story. You focus more on the theoretical math, right? And what is theoretical math? Theoretical math is all about principle, one principle to another, and then you establish a relationship between these principles, right? So continuity, space, matter, motion, number, quantity. These are some of the concepts which are covered in theoretical math. So when you come to the applied maths, actually you start, modeling some of the concepts which you have read in theoretical maths to solve some of the real-time problems, right? So, mathematical modeling is one stream in the applied maths, where you take a real world business problem and try to give it a mathematical flavor, right? You try to map it to various principles which you have read in the theoretical math side, and then you try to solve that business problem. Even if you don't try to solve that business problem, you try to get a mathematical view of that business problem, and when you get that model, you get a lot of ideas to actually improve that scenario by adding not many variables into it, and identifying various efficiency opportunities in that business problem. So you get a lot of options, and then when you start thinking in that area, you start moving towards the solution. The computational methods, they extend the modeling part of the story, where you apply some of the logics on the mathematical models. You simulate these models with various kind of inputs and various kind of tweaks to actually come to a reasonable solution, right? So computational methods, they addresses a direct problem solving, where you get a solution directly, and some of the problems are not solvable through mathematical logic. So what we do is, we take help of a lot of data and lot of, tweaking to actually come to a closest solution. So it is not always that, you get a perfect solution when you are solving a problem. But, computational methods help you actually in achieving that state where you come very close to the most perfect solution in that scenario, right? So this is just a very initial view of what different kind of maths you will foresee when you will go down in future. But technically, you are on the left hand side at the moment, where you are going through the various initial principles and concepts in the theoretical math side of the story. So little bit elaboration. I will not take much of the time on this slide, right? So I just try to elaborate what the theoretical maths is and what applied maths is, so that you guys can have a much more better view of what kind of topics are there, and you will be able to relate to it, right? And that is the motive about this slide. Means whatever you have studied, some of the concepts you have already studied, which you are seeing on the left hand side, and some of the concepts which you will be studying when you will actually go into some of the professional courses in your future, right? So foundation, proof theory, model theory, set theory, right? You all must be relating to it. Number theory, algebra, permutation combinations, geometry, topology, mathematical analysis. Mathematical analysis is more like, integral calculus, derivatives, those kind of things. So topology is something which you must not have heard, right? So it studies about properties of a figure, on which we can apply some kind of pressure, but those properties does not change. So where is topology applied? So topology is mostly applied in biology, in thermodynamics and heat kind of areas where you study the impact of external pressures, external changes on, say, a molecule, right, or a human body molecule, or a molecule of a matter, right? So that is how when you look at the theoretical maths, you will see that all these concepts are going to actually help you in various concepts which you see on the right hand side of the screen, right? So it helps you in the mathematical modeling, then it helps you in the computational modeling. And when you go to the right hand side, you see subjects like probability and statistics. They actually are now addressing more real world problems, right? So computational sciences, talking about numerical analysis and computer algebra, mathematical physics, catering to various theories in physics as a subject. Operational research, again, providing optimal, near optimal solution to a problem. What we call it is more of a kind of brute force solution kind of thing, where we apply concepts from various areas to solve a problem. So it is not necessary that you are going to solve a problem mathematically. You will use a lot of mathematical concepts in operational research, but then you use normal general problem solving techniques also when you solve a problem in operational research. Right. So this is something which is I wanted to cover at a very high level. Various subjects and topics where you can actually align your interests slowly based upon your aptitude. And mostly what you see on the right hand side, this is taught in most of the streams which cater to mathematics, and that is what we are going to look at in the next slide, right? But before that, let's cater to why maths, right? Why we are talking about, why are we in this session, and why are we talking about maths in such a great detail. So as you can see from the career perspective, when we talk about maths, it is about strong demand. It is multidisciplinary, means multidisciplinary. So the maths is applied to multiple professions, right? You can take any kind of course, whether it is economics, whether it is related to commerce, whether it is related to engineering, whether it is business administration, whatever, wherever you go, right? And you will see in the coming slides that maths is applied everywhere. As I said earlier, also even in the medical science, in the pharma world, maths is something which is the base of everything. You must have heard about concepts like bioinformatics. This is all about logic, computers, and maths. Right? So some of the examples that I'm trying to give. Multiple career avenues, as I said, that there are so many things, so many areas where maths is already applied, and there are so many courses which you find in various colleges which revolves around maths, for which maths is the base for any futuristic learning. So so attached to that are multiple career avenues and income potential, global acceptance. So income potential, like there are certain professions which we will cover later, which actually gives you edge, right? Currently, you must have read or you must have heard from other sessions also that concepts like data science, artificial intelligence, right? they are very high in demand, and you will see very few colleges and universities are actually providing you good courses around it. And there is really a scarcity of colleges who are very known in this area, right? So this whole science is still emerging, and this is all mathematical based, and currently there is huge demand in industry around skills in that area. I'm talking about deep neural networks, artificial intelligence, right? Tensor flows of the world. So lot of demand. So, but that is irrelevant for now. Let's focus on some of the core areas which we should concentrate on. So I'll move to the next slide. So this slide is giving you a perspective of how education system is preparing you for various careers, right? And what I have tried to do is on the left hand side you can see I've from a very layman perspective, I have listed down some of the very basic courses which are available at the graduation level, right, undergraduation level. And and this is just for example, right, and to prove the concept which we are talking today is that how we are getting actually prepared to some of the target careers, right? So on the left hand side, what you see is various courses like BA Economics, BCom, BBA, BSc Maths, BSc Statistics, and then BTech, right? So these courses I've just picked up randomly. There is no specific reason why these courses are listed down there. I just wanted to build a relationship between various subjects which you actually read, and how mathematical streams are helping those subjects. And the first top three streams you will see, there is a straightaway relationship between subjects and mathematical streams. As you see in the economics, you read statistical methods, mathematical methods. There is the econometrics, as a subject. Then you have financial economics, and then on the right hand side you see that the things which you have studied in your 10th and 11th and the 12th of the world means calculus, differential equations, matrix algebra, mathematical programming, computational methods. All these mathematical streams actually help you in fulfilling the subjects which you get in your BA economics. Similarly, it goes for BCom, means they are more on the accounting side of the story, cost accounting, financial accounting, valuation, right? So these are some of the taxation. These are some of the important subjects which you read in commerce, and don't relate it with BCom. Means it is more related to the commerce stream itself, right? And then on the right, what you see is the various mathematical streams which actually help you in achieving these subjects or fulfilling these subjects. In the same way, when you go in the business administration side, right, financial accounting, quantitative methods, management accounting, operations research. So again, you would see similar streams which you get into when you are doing commerce. You will be using it in the business administration side. Now, coming to the pure math streams like BSc Maths, BSc Statistics, you would see subjects which are pure maths, right? Matrix, differential equation, complex analysis, statistics, operational research, linear algebra, right? Calculus, geometry, vectors. In the same way, when you go to the statistics side of the story, certain subjects which are related to your permutations and combinations, probability theory, mathematical methods, sampling distributions, and statistical inferences, quantitative analysis. So these are some of the subjects which you would be studying, right, when you get into the statistical side of the story. And the statistical side actually provides you base to actually establish yourself as a data scientist or as a artificial intelligence engineer when you actually go downstream when you are doing your masters or even when you are doing your BTech. In BTech, for initial years, you would actually be repeating and going in some of the advanced concepts of calculus, matrix, discrete mathematics, linear algebra, statistics, cryptography, and those, right? So So this is, in a way, I've tried to actually create interest in your mind of, how various subjects and, various streams cater to maths. And this is also related to, the education system and the syllabus which you will get actually when you will enter your colleges as the next step, right? Now, if you are looking at, maths as a career and, and to actually go deep into, certain specific subject areas within maths, means either the theoretical side of the maths or whether it is, the applied side of the maths. One of the very important initiative by Government of India is, they have created Indian Institute of Scientific Education and Research. If you will go to their website and if you will search courses over there, right, for various BSMS programs, and they run 5-year BSMS programs, and their focus is more on both the applied side of, the applied side of education and research, and and the theoretical side, right? And you'll see that they are providing all different kind of courses which we have just seen on this screen, right? The screen is talking about variety of subjects. If you take it from statistics to linear algebra to calculus to discrete mathematics to matrix algebra. If you go to ESER sites, you will find out that they are providing both theoretical and academic subjects in the mathematical area, specifically for some of their BSMS programs, and there is integrated PhDs also involved and hosted by ESER, and you guys can opt for it. And so I've just provided you details of the 5-year BSMS program, and where the ESERs are situated. They are in Behrampur, Bhopal, Kolkata, Mohali, Pune, Tiruvananthapuram, Tirupati. And down below you see the various channels through which you can get admission over there. So one is KVPI channel, another one is KE Advanced channel, and third one is the direct ESER aptitude test. So this is I've just mentioned this to you guys so that you know what kind of institutions you need to target. Everybody will not get admission in one particular type of institute, but this is something which is very interesting, and it is very mature and very focused initiative by Government of India to prepare our future generation on some of the pure subjects like physics, chemistry, maths, and then the applied side of these pure sciences. So now from this slide onwards, I will be very quickly covering various career options which you will have once you have completed your graduation, post-graduation, and your PhDs, if you guys are going to opt for it, right? So I will go through very quickly, some of the career options. Actuaries, mostly related to the statistical side of the story. These guys work in the insurance industry, and they generally do risk modeling, right? So risk related to death, risk related to accident. So they churn a lot of data, historical data, which they keep on capturing from a lot of claims and cases which they actually process. And their key objective is to reduce risk for an insurance company at a very high level. I'm just covering that. And how will maths help here? A lot of concepts like calculus, algebra, statistics, probability, computer science, finance and economics, or the concepts that are covered over there. They all actually help actuaries to actually do what they are supposed to do, which is predominantly risk modeling, right? And you see, I mean, what kind of education qualification, what kind of monetary returns you can expect when you actually pursue this career. Economist, Dr. Manmohan Singh was one of the very famous economists of India. He was governor of RBI also. And you must be wondering, how maths is related to economics. So economy is these days is more about number crunching, right? A lot of data science, artificial intelligence, prediction, future related concepts are being talked about in economics. So there is traditional economics, which caters to more of demand and supply, but nowadays to take economic decisions, to define monetary policy for a country, you need to do a lot of number crunching. So there are regulations, there are laws which you need to know about in economy, but a large part of economy is now driven by maths, by number crunching, by statistics of the world, by data science and artificial intelligence of the world. Because nowadays we have a lot of data, right? We actually see data from 30-year, 50-year perspective, and that is how country plan for its population, for its various businesses, when they formulate policies, right? And on the left hand side, you see there are a lot of computational methods, mathematical programming. So last 2 points, mathematical programming, computational methods, these are more of data science, statistics of the world, modeling some of the problems in the computer science, using taking help of various programming techniques which are available. So that is what it is, right? And you see the educational qualification and the various career options which you will have in terms of roles, and then what would be the remuneration which will be there, right? So now I will take you through very quickly for with other career options. So data science, you guys must be hearing a lot about data science, and I have also talked about data science a lot. So data science is more about solving a problem with the help of data, right? So it is more about having certain kind of historical data and identifying various kind of patterns in that historical data to be able to actually solve futuristic problems, right? So again, so there are various kind of algorithms in data sciences, right? And you will see those algorithms are getting solved, with the help of various mathematical concepts like calculus, linear algebra, probability, statistics, discrete maths, graph theory. And so you will have different kind of algorithms, and you will be applying different kind of mathematical concepts to actually solve a business problem via an algorithm, right? So again, education qualification, you can go via a very traditional way, where you are doing bachelor's and master's in maths. There are very specialized courses when you get into the master side of the story. There are very specialized courses where they start teaching you data science, statistics, and information theory when you get into the masters of mathematics. Then in the BTech and the MTech side also, you can actually pursue this career, because there are a variety of subjects now included in the syllabus of at least BTech and MTech computer science, through which you can pursue this particular stream, right? And various options which you have in terms of roles are listed down there, and remuneration also. Financial analyst, more on the banking side of the story, more on the cost accounting, valuation, financial accounting side of the story. They do a lot of number crunching. They actually focus a lot on commercial activities. They have to play a lot from the perspective of valuation. How to value a thing. Say, for example, if there is a startup, and you have to actually value that startup, so you will actually apply a lot of financial models to actually see how you can actually value a startup, and then start funding it, right? So on the left, you see elementary arithmetic, statistics, probability, computational methods, all are being used by the financial analyst. And traditionally, MBAs, CAs, CFAs, they actually come into this area. Mathematicians means mathematicians mostly, when we talk mathematicians as a career, role. So this is more of a research role, where you are actually, working, doing your PhD, and working on certain principles, theories, to come up with some new analogies in that area, right? And that is why what you see on left is a very wide horizon of various mathematical concepts which are applied in this section, right? Statistician, more of related to, number crunching and predicting and working with the population, and to be able to create, a scenario, which points to a particular problem. So statistician generally do not need, a lot of data to start with when they actually try to solve a problem. What statisticians do is they create their own, problem world, and they create their own data to actually simulate a business problem. So when you look at the data science as a field and statistics as a field, there is a subtle difference. In the data science, what you need is a lot of data to actually solve a problem, means historical data. That means that those situations and those business problems should have occurred in past, right? Then only you can actually apply, data science and other concepts onto it. The statistics, not necessary. Statistics, they statisticians have, tools and principles and methodologies where, they can use, which they can use to actually create a business problem, and environment for that business problem. They will select, which part of the population will participate in solving that business problem. What would be the different kind of data they can select to actually solve this business problem, and then they apply various principles on this setup to solve a particular problem. So statisticians, they can also become data scientists if they want to focus on the data side of the story, but it is much more wider than what data science as a subject offers. So statisticians have a much more wider view on the various methods and tools and technologies via which you can solve a problem. Okay. And what you see is some of the statistical concepts which will help you in on your left. You see a lot of statistical subjects which will help you in actually achieving this goal. Astronomers, again, movement of planets, so a lot of geometry, coordinate geometry, linear algebra, calculus. Calculus is more about, movement, something which changes, and, the universe keeps on changing. So a lot of calculus gets applied. Nowadays, through various, means, various sensors in satellites, through telescopes, we collect a lot of imagery and a lot of data in space, right? So a lot of computational methods, artificial intelligence, and statistics also get applied when you are actually doing astronomy, right? So investment banker, again, related to the commerce side of the stream, where investment banker is actually taking our money, or an organization's money or a corporate money, to actually increase its value, right, and to protect a lot of risks which are there in the money market, which are there in the stock market. Their primary objective is to collect large from their various customers a large amount of money, and then invest that money into various instruments like bonds, equity, right, and then give a good and healthy return to their client. Right? And so a lot of commerce, economy related concepts get used in their role, and what you see is that they do a lot of number crunching also, and that is where the statistics part of the story, the artificial intelligence part of the story becomes important here. Operational research analyst, it can be, this role is about doing research in a particular area, and what they do is they collect a lot of data. They actually fine tune that data and those trends and those patterns from the industry given environment, the environment in which they are asked to solve a problem. And then they actually, convert that data, that pattern, that information which they get, either in terms of business problems or in terms of samples which they collect, and they try to actually do statistical modeling and bit of data science and artificial intelligence to solve that business problem. So it is more kind of statisticians which will play a large part in this area. And then, some of the areas, some of the data science and AI side of the story can also be covered. It can also be leveraged by them. Budget analyst, again, the commerce side of the story, a lot of cost accounting, financial accounting, budgeting, valuation, future value of money. Those kind of concepts are, addressed by budget analyst, and mostly, they focuses on the theories which are taught in the commerce stream, right? Survey researcher, again, like operational research analyst, collecting lot of data around a business problem, and then giving shape to that data, identifying patterns in that data. They actually help statisticians and data scientists to actually give context to a business problem, right? And their core area is to collect data, to identify patterns in that data, apply certain statistical techniques to actually fine tune that data, give a shape, so that certain principles and theories can be applied to that data to come up with certain analogies, right? So it is a statistical stream. So mostly statistical side of the subjects become very important here. And you see the roles which are available in the market around the survey research at the bottom. A similar role, I will not cover this in detail, market research. So this is more on industry specific, on the industry problems, right? When a company has to launch a product, right? So they will go and do the market research around, what their competitors are doing, what the consumers of this product would expect. What are the differentiators, right? And what value they can create in the society if they will launch this product, which areas, which demographies to actually cover, which age group to cover, so how to attract various elements of the population towards their product. So that is what goes into market research, and there are various dimensions of it. Mostly, statisticians play a large role in this because a lot of data is collected, and from that data you have to actually give a lot of inputs to higher management around some of the critical decisions which an industry takes every now and then. So management analyst is again a similar kind of role where you actually do a lot of number crunching for your internal data, right? Internally, you have various streams in an industry, right? You have manufacturing, you have sales, marketing, and you have to actually keep on, evaluating their performance. And all these streams within an industry, they generate a lot of data, right? So you have sales data, you have, your production data, inventory data, all those kind of things. And a company to, gauge its performance have to actually focus a lot on internal efficiencies, to generate internal efficiency, so that they are always competitive in the market and as well as to their competitors. So they also do a lot of number crunching. So statisticians, data science, a lot of visual analytics, reporting, pie charts of the world and line charts of the world, and all those charting elements will come into play when they actually present their work. Cryptographer, one of the extension of computer science. You see cryptography everywhere these days. In IT, every data is encrypted, whether it is stored in your hard disk or whether you are exchanging information between two companies, websites, and other things. You have concepts like SSL. And encryptions to actually protect your IPs and assets, right? And that is where cryptographer play a role. Various streams which you see which help in an individual to get into this role are on left, like discrete mathematics, elliptic curves, group theory, proof writing, number theory. So what you do generally in cryptography is that a real world number, you actually encrypt it and convert it into a set of numbers which cannot be understood very clearly at a very high level, right? So if I have to protect my password, I will apply an algorithm into it so that that password cannot be interpreted or reverse engineered to what it was, right? So it is stored in databases, everybody can look at it, but you will never be able to find out what that actual password was. At a very high level I am trying to cover. So that is what an encryption is. That is what cryptography actually helps us. Computer and information research scientist, again, uh, taking help of computer and the computational techniques, the mathematical modeling to solve certain business problems. Again, mathematics, statistics, and the engineering stream play a large part in it. Engineering stream, they help in actually realizing those concepts, those theories, those models with the help of programming language, and that is where the role of programming also comes into play. But rest others, the statistics and mathematical side of the story covers the core concepts in this area. Educators, I have not much to say. There are a lot of educators in the room at this moment. So, we are preparing our future through this. So again, the pure stream where, algebra, group theory, the BScs and the MScs in mathematics, they play a large part here. Education is now very widespread, not to school also. It is there in industry, it is there in government in very large scale. We have to keep on improving every day. So that is where educators play their role. And there are educators not only in school, there are educators in large corporates. And large corporates invest a lot in actually training and skill development. And that is where educators play a very big role in designing new kind of courses, in identifying new concepts, new theories, which will play a part in an industry. And that is where the educator's role is very widespread, not even in schooling side of the story, in the industry side of the story also. So as a summary, whatever roles and whatever, career areas which we have shown to you, we have tried to actually categorize them in the business, technology, research, and analytics side of the streams or verticals, you can say. I will not go into each and every one of them. You can see that there is one tower which is very emerging, which is rightmost, analytics. So that is data science and artificial intelligence. And rest are traditional. We know about them, and we were knowing about them, and we know that what they actually ask for. So these are your education pathways. It means after 12th you will be doing BA, BSc, maths honors, BTech, and courses in statistics. And then on the right you see your futuristic courses, your masters in various applied subjects or various theoretical subjects. So key institutes, Indian Statistical Institute, Indian Institute of Technology, Indira Gandhi Institute of Development Research, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, which you guys can target for your masters and for your PhDs. So these are very famous institutes, and over the course of time, when you have selected your path, you will reach out to one of these institutes, I am very sure. So that is all from my side. Thank you very much for listening me out. I hope it was not very boring or very theoretical, and I have added some value to the students who are actually present today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for briefing us the various aspects of the maths which the students can opt as a career for their bright future. And generally after graduation, the students often remain in dilemma that what to do and what not to do. And you have covered all those parts in a very beautiful and an impressive manner. So thank you, sir. And I'm pretty sure that all the students, all the queries of their students have been resolved. But yes, certain queries still are pending that I have received in the chat box. So, sir, by your permission, can I start with the query session?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir. So the first question that I would like to put forth, that has been asked by Anjali, that is it advisable to go for the short-term add-on courses offered by the DU, and to what extent do these impact the chances of placement?
See, it is always advisable at whatever stage of your career you are to look for short-term courses, right? So these long-term courses have a lot of strings attached to that, primarily time. So once you have done your basic course, means your primary course, right? After that, for continuous skill development, you can opt for, and you should opt for continuously throughout your career, this 3 months, 6 months diplomas, which are offered by various institutions as well as various universities and colleges in you also, and and the basic aptitude which you should look at towards these courses is that, so what it is, where it is helping you out. Means if you are a financial analyst, you can go for a short-term course in the cost accounting and financial accounting area. If you are in IT, say for example, you can go for a very short-term course which is provided by various institutes like IIT, IISc, and others in data science, statistics, and artificial intelligence area. So it is always advisable, and not only after your after you end your primary education, but even when you are when you are working and when you are actually learning a lot by having live experience in industry. At that time also, it is advisable, and that is what is happening in industry also, that every organization has identified various short-term courses, duration expanding from 1 month to 6 months, and they are pushing their employees to actually get skilled in those areas. So this is now mandatory, not advisable, but it has to be part of your system and thought process, that you will keep on updating yourself by looking for short-term courses. There are so many other online mechanisms like Coursera, Udemy, and other channels through which you can actually opt for these courses. Many recognized universities, Indian universities as well as foreign universities, they keep on providing these short-term courses through the online channels also.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is from Tushar side, that what is the scope and the prospect of the market analyst in India?
There's a lot of scope of market analysts in India. See, India is a consumer oriented country, right? So a lot of things which we generate or produce is consumed by India and Indians itself, right? So if you look at the FMCG sector, if you look at the service sector, right, there are so many products and options which are generated, right? So look at the banking side of the story, right? So many products which a bank provides you, like credit card and your banking options, loans, and other things, right? And if you look at the FMCG side of the story, you get so many daily use items like soaps, shampoos. So we are producing lots and lots of product, right? And when you look at it from the core industry side, if you look at the heavy industry, we produce a lot of components which are used in industry. We produce a lot of machinery. Then we produce a lot of defense equipment. So the market in India is huge, right? And once when we are becoming data oriented, when we all are online, and there is so much of data available for a particular area or a particular stream or a particular market. So role of market analyst becomes much more important in identifying the consumer preferences, the market challenges, various market drivers which will actually enforce your decision making. So those things have become very critical, and companies actually invest heavily on these skills. And so market analysts individually as an individual role, as well as market analysts as a role in other careers is very important. So way to go, and I will suggest that it is one of the very potent area if you have right skills.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Aragya Jain, that what's the scope of opportunities if we opt maths honors and what courses we have to do later on to get more benefit?
Yeah, so if you are doing maths honors, so generally what happens is in maths honors, they will actually teach you the theoretical maths as well as the applied maths there itself. So the options which you will get when you are doing maths honors, some of the options could be that you would start getting some of the computer science subjects being taught when you are doing maths honors, like some of the programming languages, and then concepts like data science, artificial intelligence, algorithms, where you would be mapping or applying whatever theories you have learned into to solve your real world problems, right? And so the toolings which are required, they will come into in the form of some of the subjects which will get into mass honors. After mass honors, if you are talking about undergraduate, the bachelor kind of course, I will suggest that you should do masters again in maths with certain specific applied areas. And there are various applied areas which are made available when you actually do MSc Maths, and which has much more deeper link to the computational side of the story, where they enable you to leverage computers, programmings, and other computational methodologies to solve business problems. So I would suggest that you should do masters after doing mass honors, and after that, if you have some specific preference, you can get into the MBA side of the of the education, where you specialize in one particular area.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Raghav, the student of class 10, that can we do engineering with applied maths?
Engineering as an applied maths is not a subject which is available, but whatever you do in engineering is applied maths, right? The calculus of the world, the Fourier series, the matrix algebra, linear algebra, discrete mathematics, statistics, all these concepts, when you look at it from a theoretical maths perspective, they get converted into applied maths when you do engineering, because in engineering you are actually solving engineering problems, right? And so when you are doing engineering, whatever maths you are learning in engineering, that is already applied maths, right? But it depends on stream by stream basis. Say, for example, if you are doing civil engineering, you will learn a lot of applied maths related to mechanics, right? If you are doing computer science, you will learn a lot of applied maths related to data structures, algorithms, compilers, programming language designs, database, and those maths will be more of like matrix algebra, linear algebra, discrete mathematics, statistics. So that is how the applied math view will change. But when you are doing engineering, whatever maths you are learning while you are doing engineering, that is already an applied maths, and that is the aptitude with which you should actually pursue those subjects when you are in engineering.
Right, sir. Thank you. Next question is from Aditya, that what are the qualifications for becoming a game developer? Is there any linkage with maths?
Yeah, so game developer has to actually cater to a lot of movements and lot of visualizations, right, when they are developing games, right? So a lot of geometry, coordinate geometry, and the movement related maths, where you are moving, and not only one concept on the gaming console is moving. There are many concepts on a gaming consoles which are moving, so it is a very dynamic kind of scenario. So for traditional games, where where you are providing some response to a request, where you are answering questions, for that not much of the maths is required. But for complex games, where you are simulating a lot of real world problems, there you require a lot of maths, because there will be a lot of graphics. Say, for example, I can tell you a very simple theory, right? If you have to show a sun in your gaming view, and you have to show shades and shadows related to, you know, where the light will come and how the reflections will occur. If there is water also somewhere in that scenery, you will actually will have to apply those real world concepts to create those realistic scenes. And those realistic scenes just cannot be based on your assumptions. So there has to be some theory, some maths, some science behind it, right? To create a shadow in a game, you will need some science to be applied, right? To create a reflection of some object on water or on mirror, you will have to actually create, apply a lot of scientific and mathematical mathematical concepts to actually create that scene, right? In the background, you know, a lot of maths gets applied because when you are playing a game, there are so many players which are participating, right? So you have to make a lot of dynamic decisions to actually give an edge to a player, right, who is performing well in that game. So those decision-making systems or decision support systems are based on maths itself. So you in some of the systems you will apply, you know, normal maths. In some of the systems you will even apply, you know, artificial intelligence and data science also to decide who has won. So there would be pre-trained models which will be actually making those decisions at runtime for you. So yeah, a lot of maths is required in that area also.
Sir, if you allow me, I would like to ask one more question.
Yeah, sure, please go ahead.
Okay, last but not the least, the question has been asked by Varun. That is investment banking a suitable career option in the near future? And can we become one without a degree in finance?
Yeah, means without a degree in finance, you can still become, if you are pursuing your career very, very efficiently and optimally, because investment banking, the core skills, right? Core skills are mathematical because they do a lot of number crunching, as I had said earlier, right? But investment banking also need a lot of domain knowledge, right? And from domain knowledge, you know, what I'm saying is that, you know, you need to know a lot about various financial instruments which are available in the financial markets, right? Then you should know a lot about, you know, various industries. You know, then you should know a lot about various commodities, right? Like steel, cement, you know, various minerals like manganese and, you know, other kind of mineral, gold, silver, and then, you know, and then you make investment decisions, right? So degree in finance is a very narrow way of looking at it. You should look at it from a very holistic perspective, where you are, you know, looking at investment banking, where you know a lot about economy. So a person who is actually pursuing economy can also become an investment banker if he actually generates or, you know, captures a lot of you know, mathematical skills which are required to become an investment banker, apart from the domain which will come from the economy side or the commerce side of the story. Generally, when you pursue an economics career, when you pursue a commerce career, or when you pursue a business administration career, you can all converge towards investment bank with some extra effort, right? So it is not that, you know, an MBA in finance will actually become an investment banker automatically. You will have to add on a lot of skills from the domain perspective, right? And then only he can become an investment banker. In the same way, an economist will have to add a lot of skills from the business administration as well as commerce perspective before he can become an investment banker, right? Because there's a lot of valuation, cost accounting, financial accounting, all those things, concepts are involved. That is where, you know, there is no course which actually makes you an investment banker. But yeah, there are a set of courses on which, if you will add on some more skills, you can certainly become an investment banker.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, once again, for solving all the queries of the students and for providing an apt overview on the topic maths as a career. And I hope that students can now pursue for maths in the future with great confidence and clarity. Thank you, sir, once again. Now over to Mayank and Parth.
Thank you so much, sir, for this quite beneficial session. Thank you so much, Kirti ma'am. Sir, your words helped us a lot. Thank you so much again.
Really, sir, this session was a lot more than integration or trigonometry, for which mathematics is generally known for. You have helped us really, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I would also like to inform all of you guys that our next session is going to be about careers in humanities by Mr. Rajiv Ranjan at 11:15 a.m. So don't forget to hold your slots from our school app. And even if you couldn't, you can also watch the session from our YouTube page as well as the Facebook page. Thank you. Have a nice day.